I never thought that so many people, especially in a singular country, could be wanting the same exact present for Christmas. And of course, I'm talking about a early election. Now, unfortunately, there's like a couple of days before Christmas, which also happens to be my birthday, by the way. So when you say Merry Christmas, just please throw in there, please throw in there a happy birthday. It'd mean the world to me. There's just not enough time for everybody to get together in Parliament and do an election in the next few days. But the good news is that Pierre Poilievre pulled out the last single resort to try to call an election. So, for those that don't know, there's three possible ways that a government can call an election. One is that the government calls an election, in this case, Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. Now, they did that in 2021, and unfortunately, it went their way. The second option is what Pierre Poilievre has been trying to do, and that's by calling a vote of non-confidence. Now, unfortunately, the first couple got blocked by the Bloc, the NDP, and the Liberals. Then the last one got blocked by the NDP and the Liberals. And finally now, a few days ago, earlier this week, of course, everyone's caught up to speed, where the NDP, Jagmeet Singh, released a statement on X and said, you know what, I no longer have confidence, even though I voted against the confidence motion a week ago. But hey, a lot can happen in a week. So now I no longer have confidence. I'm going to wait until House resumes sitting, which then would mean I would actually get my pension, and then we'll do an election. Pretty much what he said. At least that's when you read between the lines. So what's going on? What's happening? Is there going to be an election earlier than October of 2025? Very likely. Like if you're a betting person, you should be putting the money on that. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, and please don't actually do that because I'm making a joke, but nonetheless, right, not financial advice. I think that's what you're supposed to say. But I think everybody's pretty much agreeing that something's going to happen before the end of next year. Now, is it going to happen in March or April or May? That's most likely, possibly. That's like the most likely method. But Pierre Poilievre is trying to recall everybody back to government and say, okay, I know it's the Christmas holidays, but screw you. We're going right to the Governor General on this one, on the last Hail Mary that he could possibly do, and have the King himself, pretty much, because it goes to the Governor General, who's a liaison between the King and everyone that's on this monarch system. Then the King would say, okay, yes, they don't have confidence, let them do their election. So the King would basically be getting Justin Trudeau fired. It is one fun little nerdy way of looking at it. So that possibly can happen. We could see them sitting back in Parliament maybe before even the end of 2024. We could see it, December 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. We don't know. We could also see it January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all the way till 27th of January, which is when they're scheduled to reappear in the House. So there's a lot of anticipation, a lot of craziness going on, a lot of unanswered questions, and we all just want to know, when the hell is it happening? Well, unfortunately in this video, I don't have that answer. But what I do have is this new media tour that Jagmeet Singh is going on. He's going from one reporter or talk show host to the next, trying to explain that, hey, I'm doing what's best for Canada by calling a vote of non-confidence because I, the wannabe leader of Canada, Jagmeet Singh, think that now, of all places and times, is the best time to issue my vote of non-confidence statement, which is absolutely insane. But also, thanks, dude, for doing your job and actually doing what Canadians want you to do. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It does really help grow the channel, and it's all I want for Christmas, really. It would mean the world to me, and my birthday. Don't forget that. But before we get into today's video, I do have a message from today's sponsor. It's all about how to protect yourself online. I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Private Internet Access. We've teamed up together and we're offering my audience 83% off for using code SUNSHINE, which can be found linked down below in the description or the pinned comment below. It's no surprise that we're living in a time of censorship, and Canada is unfortunately leading that race because of Justin Trudeau. Now, Justin Trudeau wants to make sure that you can't see the news. He wants to make sure that you can't see certain content on streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Crave, and you shouldn't have Disney Plus because, of course, our finance minister said if you can't afford things, you should cancel Disney Plus. So the way around this is through a VPN such as Private Internet Access. Now, for those who don't know what a VPN is, it's a way to encrypt your data, basically putting a cloak over you so that you can freely browse the internet without feeling like your personal information is at risk or the government getting and selling your personal information. And the best way that I like to go about this, the best cloak that I like to put over myself is Private Internet Access, which again can be found linked down below in the description or the pinned comment below for 83% off. Thank you, Private Internet Access, for sponsoring this video. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. We're going to be taking a look at two different interviews that Jagmeet Singh has in the same day. He's wearing the same head to toe clothing. You'll see it's very identical, but he goes on two different talk shows and the reporters are, I mean, we're going to watch together. It goes exactly probably how you think it would be. So if your blood boils in this, please don't take it out on me.
You said on Monday that the Prime Minister should resign. You are calling for Justin Trudeau's resignation, and yet you are not willing to vote non-confidence. Why not declare no confidence in the Liberal government?
Well, we said everything's on the table, but we know that given what's going on, we've got serious threats of tariffs by Trump that threaten hundreds and thousands of Canadian jobs. We got workers wondering, will my job be on the table? Will I lose my job? We've got people that are having a hard time buying their groceries, basic necessities. We've got people that are saying, I can't pay my bills, the cost of housing is up. And then we have Justin Trudeau, who's more focused on fighting his own party than fighting for people. So it became very clear to me he can no longer continue in that role. He's got to resign. And then we've got to get down to the work of protecting Canadians against those tariffs, making sure that we make life more affordable, things that we've been doing throughout the year.
You said on Monday, and again, these are your words, not mine, that Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are focused only on themselves and not on Canadians. And yet you are the one who holds the power to actually put this to Canadians. But you are single-handedly keeping the Liberal government in power. Why is your support for them still on the table?
Well, right now there is no vote that would trigger an election. But what I'm saying is Justin Trudeau has shown to Canadians who are saying, I'm having a hard time with my life. I'm barely getting by. He's more focused on himself. He's more focused on fighting his own party than fighting for Canadians.
But throughout the whole year, you had the opportunity to put this to Canadians. So are you not focused on yourself too here?
Well, throughout the year, we were able to make some important things happen. We were able to get dental care to 1 million Canadians. So because of our work, 1 million people were able to go to the dentist. And I've met some of those folks. I met Sue in Ottawa, who survived a cancer as a senior on a fixed income and has basically no teeth left. And she was at the dentist's office when I was with her, and she said, can you get my smile back? And the dentist and the denturist said, yes, because of this program that guy over there fought for, and he pointed at me, that you're going to be able to get your teeth fixed. We're going to actually give you your smile back. That to me was very meaningful. 1 million people in our country were able to do that because of what we fought for. Free diabetes medication, devices, and free birth control are also things we fought for and we secured in the past year. We've been using our power to get things done for people. And if we were not there, nothing would have happened. Every single thing that the government did to make life better for people were things that we pushed for.
Okay, so he's doing this weird kind of purity thing where he's making it seem like he's the only one that's doing good and he deserves all of the credit. And I don't think any of those things are true. I think that he's a very disingenuous, disgusting piece of garbage politician that will do whatever he can to make it seem like he's the one calling the shots and that any success that happens in this country is because of him, and any failures is because of everybody but him. That's not good. Nobody wants that. Nobody is electing this guy. I mean, there's some people somehow out there that are brainwashed NDP supporters, and to you I say what they say down south. Bless your heart. I mean, come on. He's a more radical version of the current Liberals. He's a more radical version of Justin Trudeau. And finally, for crying out loud, a week prior to his announcement of I'm going to vote non-confidence, he voted in the non-confidence and voted against it. So what happened in the week? Freeland resigned from cabinet, stayed on as a Liberal, but she's no longer a finance minister or a deputy prime minister. Right? Dominic LeBlanc got the position of finance minister. Sean Fraser said, I'm done. Kaputs, I'm out. I don't want to be a Liberal MP anymore, but good luck, everybody. I want to spend more time with my kids. Sure. Yeah, that's probably the best thing that any Liberal could do right now is leave on that note. I want to spend more time with my family, and I don't really want to be in politics anymore. Jagmeet Singh, are those enough to change anyone's radical mind from no confidence to yes, no confidence? Like, I don't understand. I don't think anybody understands. None of this makes any sense. It seems very strategically placed by Jagmeet.
After the holiday period, after Justin Trudeau reflects, say he doesn't resign, then what?
Well, I'm not going to answer hypotheticals, but I can tell you my commitment is we know there's going to be an election next year. We know that 2025 is an election year. That's for sure. And people tell me again and again that they are fed up with and are done with the Liberals. They're not going to give them. They don't deserve another chance. So there'll be an important choice. The Conservatives, Pierre poilievre, want to cut the things that people need. They want to cut pensions for seniors. They want to cut childcare for families. They want to cut investments in healthcare. They're going to cut, and it's going to hurt people. Or New Democrats, what we want to do is we want to make your life more affordable. Make sure you can lower the cost of your bills, make life better.
But
that's a choice.
Life is not more affordable right now.
Of course not. Yeah, under the Liberals, for sure.
I've got to ask you, though, as bad as the Liberals are doing, Angus Reid, Nanos, Abacus, they all have.
So you can all tell by now, likely, if you're a longtime viewer or a very infrequent viewer, if you've come to this channel, right? This is not my normal studio. It's because I'm out visiting with family, right? Enjoying the holidays. And there's, in this town that I'm in, there's a pub that I like to go to when I used to live here. And they had 25-cent wing nights. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. Not that long ago. 25-cent wing nights. In the past 4 or 5 years, just yesterday, I called the pub to see if they still do 25-cent wing nights, because I had a suspicion that wasn't the case. It's the best deal. These awesome wings are just a little small, but you can order a lot of them. You can get a lot of food in for like less than $10. It kind of rivals my go-to place, which is Costco. Kind of rivals it. And who can say no to chicken wings, right? So I called them yesterday. And no, they still got live music on wing night. Yeah, they still do that. But the wings are no longer 25 cents. They're 50 cents. And I know what you're thinking. Dude, bro, Mr. Sunshine, those are still cheap wings. I get that. I very much understand that 50 cents per wing for wing night is a good deal. I'm with you. I'm not arguing that. I'm just pointing out that in 4 years, it's doubled. It's not an accident. So when they're saying, oh, the cost of living is, gone up a little bit, piss off. The cost of living is fucking doubled. Okay? I don't know who needs to hear that. Wake up. Look at your receipts from 4 years ago. Look at screenshots that you've taken on your phone. Look at your old pay statements or bill statements, your credit card statements from 4 years ago. If you can go back that far, take a look at it and take a look at how crazy life has gotten. It's insane. Now, hey, look, there's way more important things to bitch about than my favorite wing place going from 25 cents to 50 cents. I get it. First world problems, I get it. But the fact isn't that it's just the wings that have gone up. It's that's a symbol. It's a symbolic wing. It's the holy wing. That's a bad joke, but it's a wing, okay? That the food has gone up and doubled in price. And that's not cool. And part of that blame is Jagmeet Singh for propping up this government for so many years. He is to blame.
Have the NDP slightly worse? Are you not willing to call an election because you know you're going to lose bad?
Oh, no, we're ahead of the Liberals for the first time in a decade. Every major poll has put us ahead
Not
of
the polls that I've checked.
Oh, yeah, every poll in Canada now has put us either tied with or ahead of the Liberals. So,
Okay. So, no, not necessarily every poll in Canada has put you ahead of the Liberals, but it certainly rivals with them. So we pull it up here. Conservatives, they're in another league, right? Liberals, 47 projected seats. Jagmeet, 23. Liberals, 22% of the popular vote, and the NDP, 19%. Now, if an election gets called right now, tomorrow, this week, before New Year's, right after New Year's, right away, do I think that Jagmeet Singh will get more votes than Justin Trudeau? Yes. Yes, he absolutely will. And the NDP will become the official opposition of Canada, which is crazy to say. Like, that's got to be the biggest and most amount of popularity that the NDP has ever had. They've always been a tiny little party, right? I mean, they're more popular for sure than the Green Party. They're not even relevant anymore. What the hell's the Green Party? That sounds made up. That sounds like it's Zellers. Sears doesn't even exist anymore, right? Blockbuster. But here we are with Jagmeet Singh, and I you know what? Get him more seats than the Liberals. Give him more. Give him more than Liberals. I don't care. Just call the damn election and let's get the show on the road. That's my opinion. I'd love to know yours. Let's get back to the interview.
we're at the best position we've ever been in over a decade. But that's not the issue right now. The issue right now is we know there will be an election in 2025. And what I'm hearing from people is they're worried about the cuts that Pierre Poilievre would bring in. They're worried about what would that mean for childcare, what that would mean for dental care. They just finally get it. They finally receive. So my invitation is to Canadians out there who are worried about the cuts of Pierre Poilievre, saying, I'm worried about that guy. I'm afraid of that guy. I invite you to join us. If we come together, if we organize, if we fight, we can win. And I want to give people that hope.
Okay, Jagmeet Singh, I have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here.
Not to worry, folks, because we have another one ready to go. And as you can see, he's wearing the exact same clothes, just in a different studio.
You say the Prime Minister has to resign. You said, in fact, that he has to go. He's already said he's not going to do that. And he's shown that very clearly over this last few weeks, or the last few days. So how do you explain to Canadians that while you say you want him out, that he's not good for Canada, but you won't act on that and commit to a vote of non-confidence?
Well, everything's on the table, we've said. But it's been clear, given that we've got the threats of tariffs from Trump, that puts a lot of workers in Canada saying, will I lose my job? We know that people are having a really hard time buying groceries, just the basic essentials.
Sure.
And we got people that are saying, I can't find a home, my bills are up. Given all of that, we've got a Prime Minister that's more focused on fighting his own party than fighting for Canadians. It's clear that he's got to go.
Right. But you're the one who can make that happen. So why not commit to a vote that would see an election in this country?
Well, I've said that everything's on the table. So all options are on the table. What I'm focused on right now is saying he's got to go. And we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
You know, you're talking about Canadians being concerned about affordability, but the most recent polls show that most of them want an election. So if you have the power to make that happen for Canadians, and you're acting in the best interest of Canadians, isn't that what they actually want?
Well, there's going to be an election this year, 2025.
Sure,
next
but
year.
October is the scheduled date. That's a long way off.
It could happen any time in 2025. We're in a minority government, so we'll keep all options open. But let's be clear, there's going to be an election in 2025. Absolutely guaranteed there will be an election. And people will have a tough choice to make. And I just wanted to say to folks out there who are worried about Pierre Poilievre, the Conservatives, worried about the cuts, worried that he's going to cut their child care, their pensions, health care, make things way more expensive. For those folks, I want to invite you. We have shown that when we come together, when we organize, when we fight, we can win. So I want to invite people to join us, the NDP.
You know, you've talked about the Conservatives and what they can do, but they are 20 points ahead. You and the Liberals are sitting further back from that. So wouldn't it say to me that what Canadians want is a chance to elect a new government? And you can make that happen. Listen, Peter Julian told CBC News that this could happen in the spring. But why wait? What are you waiting for? Well,
I'm not going to speculate on when it's going to happen. What I am committing to is that in this election, I want folks to know they have a real choice. Even though I know it's a big mountain to climb.
An election before they can make a choice.
There'll be an election. There's going to be an election in 2025. But what people have to know is that if things are bad now, things will be even worse under Pierre Poilievre. and I want to make sure people know the cost. And I don't think people know the cost. Like, he's going to cut childcare. That could be $8,000 more a year for families. He wants to cut the child benefit. That's $600 a month that he wants to cut. He wants to cut pensions like Harper did. Pensions for seniors who are already struggling, who already tell me they can't afford their groceries. How are they going to make it by if their pensions are cut? When people are confronted with this, say, you know what? I don't want to vote for a guy who's going to cut my pensions. I'd actually think about that. I don't want to vote for a guy who's going to cut health care at a time when I can barely get the care I need right now.
But why won't you commit to voting non-confidence?
There's going to be an election this year.
I know there's going to be an election. Canadians know it's coming in October. It could be sooner in the spring, but you're the one who can make that happen. So why not commit to making it happen?
It's going to happen. There's nothing to, we don't have to commit to anything. It's going to happen.
Why not make it happen sooner? So they come back on the 27th, a week after.
I mean, this is bananas. So as you can tell, this was likely filmed right before he made the announcement that he's committing to a non-confidence, or maybe it was filmed right after. Who knows? I mean, the commitment to the vote of non-confidence is only a official government letterhead, an official statement that was posted to X where he said he commits to a vote of non-confidence. So does it even mean that he can go back on his word and still get away with it? Who knows? He's such a snake. We don't really know. That's why Pierre got up immediately, same day, within 3 hours, and he already addressed the nation on this, on the fact that Jagmeet Singh is calling a vote of non-confidence too far down the road. There's still like 5 weeks, so 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks until they go back to their job. Do it now. People can vote electronically. Do it right now. I mean, it's absurd. So I really like the fact that this reporter is pushing so hard on Jagmeet, and this is where the shift in the media has really taken a turn, is the media's finally kind of woken up a little bit to the craziness of it all and saying, okay, look, we can't ignore it now. That life in Canada is very different than when it was 4 or 5 years ago. And so I really like the fact that they're pushing this hard on Jagmeet.
Trump is in office. The tariffs could be in place by January 21st. Don't Canadians deserve the right to choose a different government sooner rather than later?
Well, I'm going to look at what's in the best interest of Canadians. If there's a vote on the table about retaliatory tariffs to fight back against Trump versus calling an election in the midst of threats to hundreds of thousands of jobs, I want to make a decision that's in the best interest of Canadians. I'm not going to speculate on what that decision is now, but I can tell you what I am saying right now. Trump is a real threat. People are worried about their jobs. Trudeau has to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speculate about what's going to happen months from now. When that happens, I'll make a decision.
But it's not speculation because you're the one who can tip the power in a non-confidence
vote. Well, speculation about what's in the best interest of Canadians. 2 months from now.
They're saying an election is in our best interest.
But we don't know what's going to happen a month from now. We don't know what we're confronted with. What I can say right now is there's going to be an election in 2025. That is guaranteed. And in that election, I'm fighting and running to become Prime Minister. And people have an important choice. I hear again and again from people, they're not going to give the Liberals another shot. So they got the Conservatives, and they got me. And I need to define that choice. Well, what's that choice? Well, Pierre Poilievre is going to cut, and that's going to cost you. It's going to cost families. It's going to hurt families. And New Democrats, we want to defend the things that we have. We want to make sure you can afford childcare. We want to make sure you can get a good doctor. You can get healthcare when you need it.
I'm just confused why you won't commit. And you say you don't want to do speculation, but I don't understand the why. What's the downside of you not saying, you know what, this government, repeating what you've said, which is this government has to go. Yep. He needs to be gone. Canadians need a choice. They want to have a choice. You can make that happen. I don't understand the downside for you.
Why would I box myself in and say I'm going to do something definitive when
because
we don't know what's going to happen?
Canadians are saying that's what we want.
No, we're going to wait and see what happens, right? We're going to make sure that we know exactly what's going on. When something is in front of me, when there's a vote in front of me, I'll make a decision. But what I can tell you is that there's going to be an election, and people need to know what's at stake. I want to take on the greedy CEOs that are ripping you off and driving up the cost of your groceries and your homes. Pierre Poilievre wants to let those greedy CEOs rip you off even more. If you're struggling at the groceries right now, imagine Pierre Poilievre who lets his corporate buddies rip you off even more. Or imagine New Democrats who say, let's put in a price cap on your food essentials. We know that big corporations are buying up affordable homes. I want to ban them from doing that. Pierre Poilievre wants to let them do anything that they want, rip you off as much as they want.
Given the amount of times you have said all of those things, both in front of microphones, to cameras, to Canadians, I think they already know. I think that you've laid it out pretty clearly for them what their choices will be. What I don't understand still is, to quote Gwen Stefani, what you waiting for? Like, what's the holdup? Why wouldn't you just trigger an election? Are you not ready? Is your party not ready for an
We're
election?
absolutely ready, but I'm not going to speculate about when that's going to happen. I'm not going to be a pundit and talk about election dates. What I'm going to talk about is what I'm going to do for people.
You're a leader. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, but I'm not going to speculate. I don't know what the votes are going to be. I don't know what they're going to be presenting us. So I'm not going to box myself in.
Okay.
But what I can tell people is there will be an election in 2025.
Sure.
And I'm ready to fight it. And people have an important choice to make.
You've said on this program and many times before, this will be a case-by-case basis.
Mm-hmm.
What's the case that would see you continue to support them?
Well, like I said, I don't want to speculate on it. But if we've got scenarios
what still
where...
do you need from them? I get what you were getting before from the supply and confidence agreement,
Mm-hmm.
dental care, pharmacare, but what do you still need from them that would garner your support and confidence?
Well,
in the government?
here's a concrete scenario. We've got Trump coming in at the end of January, and he's going to impose tariffs. Do we vote on retaliatory tariffs to say, no, we're not going to take that, we're going to fight back, but it's going to cost you? If you think that you can put tariffs on us and get away with no harm, it's going to hurt you. It's going to cost Americans. It's going to raise the cost of items in America. So we've got a choice between a vote on retaliatory tariffs or triggering an election. And what's in the best interest of the Canadians? What's in the best interest of hundreds of thousands of workers who say, well, I don't want my jobs to be at risk. I want you to fight back and protect my jobs. I don't know what's going to happen. And so that's why I'm not going to speculate. But what I am going to say is there's going to be an election. And in that election, people will have that choice.
Yeah, I think that this guy is just spewing nonsense at this point. He doesn't want to box himself in. And with his statement, has he or has he not boxed himself in, saying he's committing to a vote of non-confidence? I mean, if that were really the case, and if it really weren't all about his pension, then why wouldn't he say, you know what, I don't have confidence in the government? He's got that part right in his statement. And then just fucking do the election. Like, pardon my French, but do the freaking election right before Christmas or right after Christmas. The fact that he's waiting with all this time and trying to justify it, it just screams insanity.
New Democrats who want to bring down the cost of your groceries, want to build homes that you can afford. Conservatives want to let CEOs rip you off even more. That's an important choice.
Last question. Given the mess that we're in right now, what we've seen happen, reading that letter, do you regret not bringing down this government sooner?
No regrets. What I'm focused on is we've delivered for people. We brought in dental care. We brought in pharmacare. A million people in Canada have been able to go to the dentist and fix their teeth because we fought to make that happen. So we're going to keep on fighting for people. A
lot of people would say those two boxes are checked. Time for you to act on what you've been saying all along, that it's time for Trudeau to go.
There's going to be an election.
I know that there is. All right, even grade 11 civics classes know that there's going to be an election.
So
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, thank you for coming in today.
Oh my goodness, man. Just call the election and get it over with. Like, this is so freaking annoying. He keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again, promising shit that isn't necessarily going to happen. He's called on Trudeau to resign. He's been doing that for months. And here we are. He's broken up the coalition and we still haven't had an election. If he were serious about it, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if he were actually serious about it and wanted to get ahead in the polls ahead of Justin Trudeau, then that's what he should do. And I can't believe I'm rooting for Jagmeet, not to win, but at least to beat the Liberals. Like, get the election going, beat the Liberals, because screw you, Trudeau, give Pierre the majority government, and let's fix this freaking country.